Hello and welcome to this week's Talk of the Town podcast. This week we're going to be talking a little bit about ourselves because we want you to get to know us, and we are getting a lot of questions about ourselves. We did put up a question box on our Instagram pages, so what we'll do is to start, we'll give a brief introduction of ourselves. So my name is Tracy. On Instagram I'm known as Diary of a Single Mammy. I am 41. I'm a single mammy to Aaliyah, who is 10. I am a social care worker. I have a party entertainment business. I am recently over weight loss surgery. I had gastric bypass in August last year. I think that's more or less the gist of me. I'll move over to Laura and then Ciara. We do have some questions that come in for each other, so we'll discuss that as we go. So over to you, Laura.
Well, hello everybody, and I am Laura Kavanagh. I have a million kids and 2 grandkids, and I am 40 years old, and I've been a barber for almost 20 years. And on Instagram I am this mammy, and I do live interviews. That's me in a nutshell for now. Ciara.
So I am Ciara. I am a singer. I am a mammy of 3, a wife of 1. I gig around. Anyone in kind of Dublin area has probably been forced to come to a gig at some point, I think. Happily. But yeah, I was like Tracy said, I recently in the last kind of since COVID, since lockdown and stuff, I lost a lot of weight. I had skin removal surgery, which on social media I've had a lot of questions about, like yourself. A lot of people very interested, some people just very nosy. So we will touch on that tonight as well, because there are questions out there and we would rather just talk about them, and it might be helping people who might be in the same position as we have been in. So we're going to cover that as well as the questions then, as Tracy said, that we got in on the Instagram page.
Yeah, so we put together ourselves a few questions to ask the group, so just so people can get to know us a bit more. So I will start off. What are your pet peeves? So Laura, what would your pet peeves be?
Oh, do you know what I hate? See when they put like boxes or packets from biscuits and things back in the press, or empty bottles into the fridge.
Yeah.
In your house.
I
know that's like a niggly thing, but that annoys me. I'm like, oh yes, look at that. And take it out and
just like
what?
Yeah.
It is annoying.
Seriously?
It is annoying.
Yeah, that's annoying. That's
okay.
One of my pet peeves. What else would there be? No, that's kind of basically it. I'd be quite laid back.
I would say, people, and the reason I'm saying this is because I recently went away to a family wedding. When everyone's in the seats waiting to go for the flight, and then the gate opens, and then there's the people who will leg it to the gate.
That wrecks my head.
Like,
you're going to get your
you're
seat.
going to get your seat. I don't understand. And even I remember watching a thing a while ago. Michael McIntyre is so funny, but he was talking about that kind of thing. He was talking about that and covering it. He was saying, he says there's always that one person. He was talking about on the opposite end, the people who just sit there.
Yeah.
And the plane won't leave without me. So every time we're in an airport and I see those people running up and baiting their way into the line that they're going to get onto the plane anyway, I'd be sitting there staring going, the plane won't leave without me. I say you just want to punch him in the face. I'm such a...
But seriously, you can stand for 20 minutes in that queue, or just sit where you're sitting until
Exactly.
the queue closes. I don't think
Exactly, like you're
I'd
getting on the
rather
plane.
sit in the airy airport than in the plane for half an hour before I
But
take
they don't
off.
even be getting on the plane. Like, they say we're going to open the gate, and then these people literally have a marathon go and stand just to run and stand in the queue. And you're like, I could sit here and also get on the plane, and all it means is you're going to then get onto the plane and watch everybody else getting on.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah,
go
true.
to the end of the queue and spend less time on the plane. Hello.
Yeah.
You are very worked up about this.
It's really, because actually, it's something that
anyone not watching and only
it's something that gives me heartburn. Like, it really does. It probably shouldn't affect me as much as it does, but clearly it does.
Okay.
So there's an answer for you.
I would say mine is when people don't reply to messages. Like, I don't mind it when it's like a once off, but if someone consistently doesn't reply, it really annoys me. It
Yeah.
just works me up, because I feel like it's the same as if I was talking to someone and they don't
Well,
reply
they
to
just
me.
look at you, just
Yeah,
blind.
it's like
Like when I ask the kids to do something and they just like look
yeah, it
through.
just
Yeah.
does me head in.
Yeah.
And then liars. I know
Yeah.
it's a bit more serious than what you said, but I hate people that lie. Like, you tell me one lie, I'm turned off you, that's it.
Yeah.
I hate it. It's a real pain.
And it doesn't even have to be a big lie, sure doesn't. Like even
No.
if you think that they're talking shit a bit,
Yeah.
you'd be like,
Because I always say
that
little lies
just-
turn into big lies really
Yeah.
quickly. I hate lies.
yeah.
I hate
And then
lies.
nothing that they say then is validated. No, I
Yeah.
would be the same there.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
I know most people would hate someone lying to them, but it just really
Yeah.
irks me.
I know that is a bit heavy, but something else just popped into my head, and it's something that, again, it's something that really affects me. Socks. Right, now hang on, let me explain,
I
right?
don't know what direction this is going in.
Let me explain. Why is it that no matter how many pairs of socks you have, always one goes missing?
Oh,
I sorted this out. I sorted this problem.
How?
So, Aaliyah and I are a similar size in
Right.
the shoe. Right, I'm a 3, she's a 4. So, I buy the same socks for me and Aaliyah in multiple packs, in pennies. So it doesn't matter. If any of them get lost, it doesn't matter. We've millions of the same
No,
socks.
but now see, right, that makes sense and that's sensible. However,
I suppose it's different for you. You have a
if you,
mixture.
yeah, because I have boys and girls and
Yeah.
men and everything.
With Toy Story socks and everything
Yeah.
in the house.
But, right, my thing with that would be, that gives me anxiety even thinking about that in your situation, because although you're being sensible, right, say you have 20 pairs of socks, you put a wash on, you're going to be left with 19 socks. Do you know what I mean?
Yes, definitely.
Like, how does that not affect your mood?
You're overthinking it. That's all I can say back to that. You are overthinking the socks.
Like I think the washing machine
It's very
eats
serious.
socks.
Does. There's
I
a,
do
there's a
think that.
land
Oh.
somewhere
Yeah.
where odd socks exist.
100%.
Yeah, like I'm pretty sure that Christopher would have gone to school more than once with a Hulk sock and a Toy Story sock. Definitely.
Yeah, and see, I don't do that anymore. These branded socks or these.
Yeah, but you
Yeah.
see for the boys, they can only get like
I know.
navy or grey
Yeah.
if you're
Or
getting
else you get
all
the
the
ones
same
with like
colour.
the red toe.
Exactly,
Or, like,
but
yeah.
then you're going to still have odd ones, so they'll have like in school with a red toe and a blue toe.
Yeah. I do.
And see them Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday socks.
No.
Like,
No, see, I did do that because I was a bit anal about socks, as you can tell. But I remember then, like, there was a few occasions where I'd buy them, and then like that, I'd have a Wednesday, and I'm like, where's the other Wednesday? So I couldn't.
Yeah, see, I
couldn't.
would be like that. So
Yeah.
that's why I just have to eliminate.
Well, that's the thing,
Yeah.
and that's what I need to do. That's what I
Yeah.
need to do. And also, I need to apologise for anybody who's listening that I have brought a podcast to socks for the last 6 minutes. I do apologise.
Listen,
I
we're
don't
here for
think,
it.
I don't think there's many people that would disagree. They'd
No.
be like, thank God.
Yeah, I'd
she's
say.
Yeah,
done
I'm
that."
glad
that's it,
somebody
that's it.
said it.
They're at home going, thank God they raised that issue.
Yeah.
Because it is an issue.
Every mother listening to
this.
this is cheering, I think.
I know we're just out of a pandemic and there's a war and everything, but I mean, these are the important things.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm trying to ignore the war because I'm terrified of it, so I don't
Yeah.
want to know about it.
So, socks it is.
Socks
Socks
it is. Yeah.
Next question though.
Yeah.
What's your biggest fear? Laura.
Oh God, yeah, losing one of my kids or the war. The war is very worrying right now,
Yeah.
like. But yeah, and as far as Chris is concerned, if there's a nuke, we're not gonna know anything about it. We'll see a big flash and then we'll be
Yeah,
gone.
Dan told me that as well.
Yeah, they're so lovely. They're really nice, like so
They like the
reassuring.
reminds it is.
So yeah, that I'm not too worried about because I know it'll be quick. But yeah, losing somebody now it would be rough, especially like another kid. Like
Yeah.
couldn't do.
Because you have been
yeah,
through.
yeah,
Yeah,
because I
okay.
have. So yeah, no, that's really all. I'm afraid of nothing. I'm a fearless bitch, me.
Yeah.
I'm afraid of most things. I think like that. That is obviously anybody to lose. Anybody close to you, I think is everybody is afraid of. I would be very much like I suppose this is getting to know us. So I would be very guarded in myself.
We've noticed.
Yeah. I kind of will make jokes about certain things, but when things get serious, I'm a bit, put up a
Yeah.
wall, don't face yourself, don't, I don't know, I was bullied a lot as a child, I had a lot of kind of issues in that way, so I think I learned to switch off, don't feel things, and I think I would have a little bit of a fear of feeling that way again, if that makes sense, because
Yeah.
I've learned to
Yeah.
I've learned to kind of
Protect yourself.
protect myself.
Yeah.
So I think it does frighten me, that feeling of being able to be hurt again.
Yeah.
That freaks me out.
I would also say, because I've been damaged a lot in the past, to put it nicely, it's given me heart to not just a man, to like a friendship,
Yeah.
to family, to anybody, giving me heart for it to be broken and hurt in whatever way.
Yeah.
I can't cope with that feeling. And also, as I told you before, big fear of rice. Don't like it.
Yeah.
Nobody come near me with it.
Rice.
Maggots. That's all I think about. The Lost Boys movie when they look down and it's a tray of
I've never
rice.
seen The Lost Boys.
Well, literally, if you YouTube The Lost Boys rice, that scene comes up. He looks down and he says something like, "What are you eating, Michael?" or something like that. And when he looks down, his rice is all turned to maggots. Never again.
Oh
No.
my god. So do you have a compost bin? Because when I open my compost bin, first of all the flies, I can't do watch it. But see around the top of the compost bin, sometimes there's tiny little maggots.
Yeah, no.
Oh my god, I can't go with that.
For that reason,
I got
I
really
don't
much.
do compost.
Yeah, I
Same.
don't.
I just
I
don't.
don't like it. I don't like that bin. I don't touch it.
Yeah.
I get the others to bring that out.
Yeah, same. I get one of the adults in the house. I get Darren or the eldest to take the bin out because I
Yeah.
can't do it. I can't. Obviously, the bins are also taller than I am, so
Yeah,
I can't get
yeah.
anyway.
In
But yeah,
fairness.
I don't deal with the bins.
You get people on your street, be like, look at that bin going on its own.
I have, every week it's a saga in my house over bins, I swear to God. The next door neighbour is very kind and does put out the bins.
Yeah.
Sometimes somebody in the house will take in the bins but not switch them the way they're meant to go. So for the whole week everybody's putting everything into the wrong bin.
Yeah.
It just becomes a nightmare.
Yes.
Listen, but we move on.
Yeah.
Life is short. Okay, next question. Are you happy with where you are in your life right now with regards to your career, working out, friends, relationships?
So Laura, no, you go first. Go on.
Well, I haven't been in work for a couple of years now, since before Christopher was born. So, I look forward to getting back to work, but like hopefully it's not going to be in a barber shop now, in fairness, although I have loved all the years of barbering, but like I'm going for the late show, we all know this.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So I'm happy how my life is going as opposed to how it was a few years ago, but I'm not all the way there yet.
Yeah.
Reach for the stars.
That's en route.
Yeah, en route, yeah.
Yeah,
It's
I
all
would.
about the journey.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I'd say more or less the same. Like I'm en route. I'm getting there. I'm a lot happier now than I have been. I'm a lot more content now than I have been. I with COVID kind of put a lot of things in perspective for me. I kind of took I was forced to take the break that I haven't had in like 12 years because I was literally gigging back to back constantly. So I was talking about my own album, I was talking about getting all this done, but I was too busy to actually do it. So that gave me the chance to sit down and get the ball rolling on that as such. So that's kind of coming this year. As I said, I had lost a lot of the weight that I was hoping, that I've been battling since I was born. Well, not I was only 6'2" born. I was a small baby, but after that I got really fat. So I'm kind of battled that all my life. So I kind of COVID gave me a chance to kind of like meal plan and go on my walks and just take that me time that I haven't had a chance to
And you
have.
said before you got really into manifestation and all that during
During COVID, as well. It was kind of because my head was going into a negative place. I was struggling with losing so much work and what's life about now kind of thing. And I was really like, I think I had a lot of anxiety about COVID and not understanding what it was, and media throwing all these horrific things in your face. So I started looking into manifesting and The Secret and things like that, and it kind of helped me changed my mindset, and like I said about even being bullied and about feeling negative about myself and speaking negative to myself, manifesting, I was able to kind of, it kind of gives you, in layman's terms, it's kind of, think negatively, you're going to get negative
Yeah.
shit coming to you.
Yeah.
It's
If
a
you think-
mindset thing.
Absolutely. So I've learned, I'm still learning
Yeah.
to try and have a more positive mindset, and you will attract more positive things.
And I agree with that. I think for me, my life is very much in limbo at the moment because I've been out of work for 2 years, which is my career, like job, and I'm out of work 2 years because I'm high risk with the pandemic. I don't know when I'm going back to work. It has me stressed out because of childcare and all these other issues that come with that. I think with friendships, I'm definitely in the best place I've been ever because I do think the older you get, you learn.
Your bullshit radar gets
It does.
more
I mean,
active.
I've let a lot of people go, and I really do. Like I said, I put on Instagram a few weeks ago, I'm learning to love the sound of my own feet walking away from people that aren't good for me. And I love that because that's
that's a
exactly
great
what I'm
quote.
doing. If you shit on me once, that's the only time you're going to do it. Relationship wise, everything's going splendidly
Yes,
in
it
my
is.
department.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm happy. Like I am happy in all areas, and I take the good out of the bad of the last 2 years and the pandemic and being home. At least I got to be at home with my daughter, and I wasn't stressed going into a shift job.
Yeah.
Not knowing,
Exactly.
because it's very hard, especially as a single mum. But yeah, and the podcast, I'm delighted about. Like this is.
It's our little breakout, isn't
Yeah,
it?
and I
during
love
the
it.
week,
So,
like.
Yeah, so I
It's
suppose
like-
it is. It's your
Yeah.
mindset. It's trying to focus on the positives. Of course, there's always going to be negatives there, but try and find the positive in it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah. So will we move over to Laura for some questions?
Okay. So, girls, if you won the lotto tonight, what would be the first thing that you'd do?
Oh,
Yeah.
I'd probably walk away from my house.
Really?
Yeah, I'd walk away from my house. I'd probably ring my sister-in-law and be like, here, there's a gaff.
Yeah.
And I'd go and I'd buy a big house in the sticks. Darren is saying that years he'd love to live out in the middle of nowhere. And I'm like, no, absolutely not, because I want to be kind of close to my mum.
Yeah.
And I would always be like, oh no, we can't, but now kind of the older I'm getting, I'm like, you know what,
Yeah.
that's the dream, live,
Yeah.
move out,
So your
have,
ma drives.
yeah, that's the thing, like they're
You
gonna
probably
be,
see
my
her
mum and dad are
more,
gonna be there. I would move out further. I would have a big fuck off house. I would have, like, Ava, my daughter, like, she's horse mad, so to be able to have her own stables and just have,
Yeah, wouldn't it?
I'd be able to have my own recording studio.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be essentially, like, it wouldn't be even,
Yeah.
obviously you'd kind of have the holidays and all of that kind of thing, but essentially it would be just home.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I
Yeah.
would invest in.
Yeah.
Something like that would be kind of my dream.
Good girl. What about you, Sue?
Do you know what? I'm a bit of a spa in the sense that even if I had 2 million or €10, I'd still have to be sensible and try and process it all and think it through and
Oh, yeah, I
plan
would do that.
properly. Like, obviously, I'd be like ringing everybody. I wouldn't be able to hold it in.
Yeah.
I'd be ringing everyone, and look, I suppose first and foremost, I'd be looking after my man and dad, like,
Yeah.
obviously,
Yeah.
you know, and yeah, I suppose looking after the people that I love. I'm lucky I own my own house, but I'm not 100% happy with where I live, so that would obviously be something as well that I'd do, is buy somewhere in a house and an area that I actually want to be
Yeah.
in. So yeah, that'd probably be it for me.
Yeah.
What
See,
about you?
I really don't know, and that's why I wanted to know what you would do. However, first thing I'd do is book a holiday, because I know that if I was here and I had all the money, I'd like, I'll do this, no, I shouldn't have done that, I should have done this. So I'd go off on holidays for 2 weeks and I'd have a good old think about it.
Yeah,
on
think
the
about it
beach
before.
with
Yeah.
a book and a pen, and I would write down all the things that
I
I
have
would
to
do.
say, we're all quite sensible.
Aren't we? Now
Yeah.
it would involve buying a house, but I'd obviously have someone buy it for
Yeah.
me, and my butler would have my dinner ready,
Oh,
and all,
yeah.
you know, he'd probably be related to your butler, you never
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
I'll let you know what agency we use.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good one. Okay. When you were younger, if you weren't going, you're a singer, but when you were younger, is there anything that you wanted to do? differently?
Absolutely, I have only ever wanted to sing.
Yeah.
When I had Cian, I had him when I was 17, so I kind of got to the stage. I had been gigging since I was like 12 at that stage, but obviously then having a child young, it was like, okay, you need to kind of put on your big girl pants and realise that you can't be a singer. That's a stupid dream. You need to make money, and you're not going to make money to support the family as such. So I trained with my mum. My mum's a hairdresser. She has a salon in Finglas, so I trained with her and my auntie. And I was kind of like, right, well, at least if I have a trade, I'll have something to fall back on.
Yeah.
Because I thought, that's, you know, a stupid idea. Like, you know, cop on, you can't be a singer now.
And did you even think that, even though your dad was an established singer, you still thought this can't happen for me?
Yeah, because I never really used that, and I never really kind of thought of that as a crutch as such.
Yeah.
I always, if I was going to do it, I was going to do it myself.
On your own terms.
Yeah, on my own terms. And I was trying to be practical. I was trying to be like, look, Darren always worked. So I knew I could rely on him for that. I knew that he was going to bring in a wage, but it wasn't going to be enough for us to, like we were saying, if we did want a mortgage, if we did want all of that, I knew I couldn't just say, I had to bring in income, and I wanted to provide for my child. I didn't want to be like, I mean, I know there's a lot of 17-year-olds who don't have those opportunities, you know, to be able to go out and get a trade or whatever, and they might be in a position, or there might be a situation where they have to get their man to help them rear their child, or some people just can't take that on and they're like, sorry man, but you're going to have to do this for me.
Yeah.
And that's, I mean, some people are in those positions. I personally just made the decision that nobody was going to rear my child for me. I was going to do that, and I was lucky that I have, on both sides, we have really good families with my mother-in-law, my mum, my aunties and uncles, and with my sister-in-laws and my brother-in-laws. Like, we were really lucky that they were able to help us, that I was able to go and work, and Darren was able to work, and they were able to help us out with that.
Yeah.
But yeah, like again, and then luckily I was able to get back into the music, so
Yeah.
it kind of came full circle and worked out for me in the long run.
Yeah. Good, well, very good. Again, I was a bit stupid because I actually left school and went straight into a really good office job. I was a senior credit controller, ended up like the head administrator for a financial department. Was like doing great. My mum bought me like a gold pen and all to congratulate me. I was doing brilliant. But I used to watch Judge and Amy. Did you ever watch Judge and Amy? So it was about a judge called Amy, and her mum was a social worker in it. And I was like, I just loved the work that woman did.
Oh.
And I wanted to
Cool.
so much to work with kids and help kids. So I accidentally got into doing social care, and that's what I'm doing now, 19 years. And it has certainly not been an easy road. It has not been the road I thought it would be.
Yeah.
But it was what I wanted to do deep down. I did want to be an actress and a singer, and I do sing, but I really, I think if I wasn't doing what I was doing now, I would love to be an actress.
Yeah.
Me, who hates being on camera.
I was just going to say that. How would that be?
I'm actually very good at acting.
I want to act, but I don't want anybody to look.
I know,
don't look at me.
record me.
Yeah.
Don't record me. I'll just be over here acting.
But I'm working on it, girls. I'm working on it.
You'll get there.
That's really cool. That is really cool. If you could do something over again, what would it be? A do-over. Of anything in your life, from any stage of
Do
your
you
life.
know what? Somebody asked me this a few weeks ago at home. We were just chatting and it randomly came out with this question. And nothing. Because I've had so many bad, shitty things happen to me in my life. Like horribly shitty. But every single thing that's happened, whether it was good or bad, led me to where I am today.
Yeah.
Led me to Aaliyah. I wouldn't have Aaliyah if one decision had been different. It would have just led me off in a different path.
Yeah.
And for that reason, I'd have to say I wouldn't change anything. Obviously, there's things you look back and you say, I wish I'd handled that differently, or
Yeah.
I wish that hadn't happened.
Yeah.
That was horrible that happened to me. But in the bigger scheme of things, I wouldn't change anything because it's led me. I wouldn't know yous. I wouldn't have Aaliyah. I wouldn't be sitting here tonight. You know, so
Yeah, I would actually, because when you said that, I was like, what? Now, what? Like you said, there's things that you'd say, oh God, I shouldn't have done that, or I shouldn't have said that, or I shouldn't have behaved in that way. But like that, in major things in life, I mean, like on paper, you'd say, well, I shouldn't have been a teenage mother.
Yeah.
But if that hadn't have happened when it did, my life would be totally
You wouldn't have
different.
Cian.
I wouldn't have Cian. I wouldn't have the three of them. Myself and Darren, like, we have a strong relationship, but we're together very young. But maybe if we hadn't had Cian when we did, we might not have tried so hard to make it work.
Exactly.
And then I would potentially not have him.
Yeah.
And I would never want that.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So I suppose everything has a knock-on effect. Everything, like you said, leads into something else. So I think it's important to not really regret things, not to.
Yeah, I'd be the very same. That would be my answer as well. I wouldn't change anything, because even the bad stuff leads you to where you are.
Yeah, it makes you stronger in the long run.
And I'm happier now than I ever was. Like, I'd have to say, and I think you was like the same.
And it's just about learning, you know, and growth. And like I have said this to Laura, when you're training for your competition, and I'm not going to start talking gym talk because I'm brutal at it and I never understand what she's talking about. But she'd say, oh, I failed at this today, and I'd be like, no, you didn't fail, you learned from it, and then you'll do better next week, and you've done better. Yeah. And I
think I failing though. I failing.
Yeah, but I don't see it as a failure. I genuinely don't. I'm like, no, you've learned from that. You're going to grow from that, and like I think you have to apply that then to life as well. Yeah. You know, like that's the best way, I think, to the best mindset to have. Like.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Right. I'll go ahead with my questions. So these, as we said, these are questions that people have sent in that we said we'll apply to everybody, so you'll kind of get to know our personalities or whatever. So the last one actually is a good one. When I read it out, I was thinking that's actually a very good one. So the first one anyway, Laura, what's your favourite quote, or what quote would you live by?
Tracy.
I'll Tracy.
Alright.
Just, you know what I mean.
Just say no. My favourite quote, oh God, there's just so many. Like I can't pick one quote, but I do love in Dirty Dancing. I'm probably not going to get it exactly right word for word, but when Johnny and Baby are in the room and all the crap has happened, and he's like, you know, you're so brave, and she's like, I'm not brave. Like I've never been so scared in my whole life, you know. And she's trying to say to him, what I'm most afraid of is walking out of this room and never feeling the way I feel with you. Yeah. And like I was only a kid when that came out, like that was in the late 80s, I think, so I was born in 81.
The way I feel when I'm with you.
Yeah, and it struck me because I'm like I actually think that feeling when you have that feeling with someone, it's so important. Like, you know, don't let it go, and that would be my favourite quote. Is would be that.
And Tracy.
Do you know what? It was one that Nikita said to me a few years ago, and I was like, you know, we were living in Swords at the time, and I was kind of still in me bad stage of me coke phase, and I was saying to Nikita, like, I just want to be the person that I used to be. Now, not about the coke thing, but I was just felt shitty, and I was in a bad place, and I wasn't like working, and very rarely got out of the house because the kids are really small, like, and I remember saying to her, like, I don't want to be, you know, just dragging behind everybody, do you know what I mean? I didn't want Chris having to carry me through life and all the rest of it. And she was like, that is not who you are. Yeah, she flies with her own wings, she said, that's your next tattoo. And I still haven't got it, but I will be getting it. And I thought that was lovely, she flies with
and
her
it's
own
very
wings.
wise for like
Yeah, really wise,
such a
because
young girl to say.
She's 21 now, so I think she might have been 14 at the time.
So they are like,
wow, like when she said that, it was so, it really touched me, like, and I was like, I could then see what she saw, do you know what I mean? I was like, no, that didn't just, she didn't read that somewhere, do you know what I mean? That's exactly how she felt when she said it, and that gave me like the most amazing boost. She would never know. Well, she will now when she listens to this. She better listen to this.
You better listen. Support your mama.
Or you're grounded.
Yeah. Until they're 22.
What about you?
With me, I would say, I remember as a kid, like my mum would say, "What's for you won't pass you."
Yeah.
And I think definitely, I would definitely believe in that.
Yeah.
And I think that no matter what situations happen or whatever you find yourself in, like we said earlier, everything happen, like everything that.
It's like it's
Everything
all
happens
linking
leads
back
you-
to
yeah.
what we're saying.
So I
Yeah.
definitely think,
Yeah.
I definitely think that everything, whether it's good, bad, or ugly, it happens for a reason, and whether it's in a week or in a year, you'll realise why that happened and
Yeah.
take good out of it.
Yeah.
Like if something changes you, it can change you for the
Yeah.
better.
Yeah, like
So,
even
yeah.
you were saying about friendships, like at the time it can be an awful experience to fall out with somebody
Yeah.
or whatever, but then when it's all calmed down and a month or two later you'd actually be like, do you know what, actually this is, you know, now
There's a relief.
now I
and
can
peace of
feel the
mind.
relief, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And you do see then that there was a reason for that. Like,
Yeah.
We are very, very wise. Very
Yeah.
wise.
We're gonna have to rethink the name of this podcast.
Three
Yeah.
wise women.
Yeah.
Okay, so Tracy, your biggest challenge in life that you've faced or overcome or are going through, or what would you say helped mould you, I suppose?
It's hard to pick one thing because so many things have moulded me into who I am. I think being sexually assaulted has completely changed me as a younger girl. It changed how I was in relationships, like massively. You know, I would say that probably is one of the biggest challenges, but also becoming a single man. And I did talk about this before, but like when I broke up with Elia's dad, like I had to take a couple of years up to myself to learn how to be a single man and learn to be on my own and become independent. And like we are broken up 6 years, and right up until today, where another issue occurred, it's still a challenge. It's very difficult getting up every morning when you feel so completely on your own.
Yeah.
You know, dealing with the challenges of being a mother, and you don't have that support there beside you to pick up the pieces sometimes. You know, but yeah, that would be the best answer I can give, because I think both of those things probably had the biggest impact on me.
That's
Yeah.
a good answer if you ask me.
Yeah.
I didn't even rehearse.
Yeah, the biggest thing that I would think, the hardest thing to overcome was that. Yeah.
Well, whatever way you
Would
want to.
be
Biggest challenge.
definitely saying goodbye to Jamie. 100%. Nothing comes close to it. And I buried a stillborn baby because I didn't get to see her little eyes open. I didn't see a personality or anything like that, but with Jamie it was just so different, because I'd fostered him for 7 years, so although he was my little brother, he was like my son as well, and we were so close to the point that he thought he was breaking the news to me that he was dying, do you know what I mean? And yeah, that was absolutely the hardest thing I've ever had to deal with. And like I knew obviously that he wasn't going to make it, like, because he'd been given the all clear and all the rest of it, and when they told me that they were mistaken, I said, you can't tell him that, he's after gone out on his 18th birthday and celebrating, and you can't do that. And he said, well, by law we have to. And I said, well, if he asks. So he didn't ask, and even when he went to the hospice he didn't ask, and he actually applied for his passport from the hospice bed, like social workers, like angels like you, sorted that out for him. And he was full sure that when he got out of there he was going over to Scotland to see his brother and sister. But one day when I left the place, I went home to have a shower, because I stayed there every night with him. Like, and when I went home, he rang me and he said, are you coming back in? I said, of course I am. And he said, I just have something to tell you. And when I went back in, he sat me down and he said, I'm going to die. And I said, who told you that? Because I was going mad. I said to him, please don't tell him, like. And he said, Laura, stop, please. He said, that's what the doctor said to me. How do you think you're doing? And I just said to her, stop. I finally got the courage to ask you, just please tell me the truth. And he said, so I am going to die. But your kids have the most amazing way of showing you your direction, because one thing that child did for me as well, he said to me, I don't want you to be so sad, I know what you're like, I don't want you to be sad and crying and all over me. He said, I want you to live for the two of us. And that is something that really stuck with me. And the whole time that I was on coke, sorry, I'm gonna cry. The whole time I was on coke, I knew very well that I wasn't living for the two of us.
Yeah.
And that has made it so much easier for me, because every day since I've been off coke, every day has gotten better. Like every single day, and this is like over 4 or 5 years. Every day is still getting better. My life is getting better every single week. Do you know what I mean? I'm here on a podcast where a few years ago I was in a tiny house in Swords thinking, I cannot deal with this. Like, I was literally suicidal at points over my life, and like, that's no secret. But yeah, that was, sorry about that long-winded one, but
No,
that's,
you're living
that was
for
my
him now,
biggest
aren't you?
one.
So
Yeah, I'm living for
you
him
got,
now,
and again, like
absolutely.
we said, everything can come full circle, and you got
Yeah,
there. You got there.
absolutely.
I'm not forgetting the question now because
Your biggest challenge.
oh yeah, no. Jesus.
Sorry, Karen.
It's alright. We're all wearing glasses today. I never wear glasses, but because I have to read and I'm visually impaired, I had to wear glasses, and now they're steaming up. Jesus. I'm gonna just.
Our biggest challenge is seeing over the bin on a Tuesday
Yeah.
night.
Seeing over the steering wheel.
Yeah.
My biggest challenge, what I would have to say, is becoming a mammy so
Yeah.
young. I was an only child. I still am.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
no, I'm an only child. So I was kind of pregnant, because you know some people do be pregnant before they have a baby.
Yeah.
But I was pregnant, and then I went into the hospital, and they just handed me this baby, and I was like, oh, what the fuck is this now?
Yeah.
What do I do with that?
Yeah.
You know, so that was
Because
that
you
was
go
hard.
from being a kid, don't you, to the next day you're like, what do you mean I can't just go out with my
Yeah,
friends?
and I remember like my mum took a week off work because she was like, she's not gonna know what to do with this, and she was correct. And Darren was after taking days off as well, because he was thinking she's not gonna know what to do with this, and he was correct. And I remember the day they both went back to work, and I was in the house because I was still living at home, obviously. And I was like, oh balls.
Shit just got real.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like as frightened as I thought I was, I had them with me, and like my dad come in like when I first had Kane, my dad be gigging, and he'd come in at night time, and he'd take the monitor and put it in his room, and as soon as he heard Kane snoring, he'd come in, he'd be like, right, give me, I'll do night feeds. So he done my night feeds for me.
Fair play.
So it was he was up anyway, so he was
Yeah.
like, you have your rest. Darren was working,
Yeah.
so I would go up and do the night feeds otherwise, because I couldn't expect him to do night feeds and then go to work. So my dad take Kane, but so that was a big help. And but then like when I had Ada then and Jake, and I realised what night feeds were, because my dad wasn't living with me, so it was like,
Yeah. Yeah, I had to actually do that.
yeah,
Yeah.
like I had to actually do night feeds. So I was not down with that. But yeah, I would say it was probably my biggest challenge to date was becoming a mammy so early and not knowing what the fuck I was doing, but learning.
Yeah.
And I think that a lot of people listening will be in the
Yeah.
same position. You can become a mammy at 50.
Oh yeah, well
And
my
st-
guy
and
was
still
still
have that.
41 and it was
That's the
still
thing,
like,
it still is
yeah.
always going to be done, no
Yeah.
matter what age, because it's frightening. But I think it's important for everybody to kind of be on the same wavelength in that. Like it's fucking hard.
Yeah, it is.
And
Yeah,
it's
it is.
scary.
Yeah,
But-
absolutely.
But you get there and you
Yeah.
manage and you find a way. You'll always find a way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, my last one. What was the last thing you googled?
Oh my god. Can I even say it on here? Well, listen, the last thing I googled, I'd have to have a quick
Check
look,
what you
sorry.
last googled.
Don't even know. Pretty little thing. I was looking at a dress that happened to pop up on my Facebook or Instagram, and I clicked into it. And it's on Pretty Little Thing. That's my last Google.
The last thing I googled was, believe it or not, it was Charlestown Studios, because
You had to try and
we were
find your way
coming in the
there.
van and I needed the air coat. So there you go. That's the last thing I googled.
Okay.
The last thing I googled was
Please say it was wrong.
no. Unfortunately not. That was the second last thing I googled. But the very last thing I googled was good questions to ask in a podcast interview.
You
Was
cheater.
it?
was.
You
Yeah, it was.
cheater.
I know.
Yeah.
But
I-
at least I'm a cheater, but I'm honest.
You're honest. I
Yeah.
actually have one more question for you.
Go.
What is the one piece of advice that you'd give to your children in their teenage years?
Yeah, don't actually care what anybody thinks of you. Don't go through your life making decisions based on what somebody might think about you. And yeah, just don't hold back on anything. Follow your dreams, follow your heart, and the right people will move along with you, and the wrong people will dwindle away. And that's the way it's got to be.
Yeah, I think that's probably the best
Yeah.
advice you can give.
Yeah.
I would want to give, like, whatever about giving me kids, or you know, where you say like, what would you tell your 16-year-old self? I would tell me 36-year-old self that.
Yeah.
Don't worry so much about what other people think, because I'm working on that.
Yeah.
I'm working on my mindset, as I said, and that's something that I'm actively doing at the
Yeah.
moment, because I would be very much a people pleaser.
Yeah.
I'm trying to change that. I would be very much the type of person who worries a lot about what other people
Yeah.
think of me, and I'm really trying to
Yeah.
stop doing that.
Yeah, and me too. And every interview that I do, I ask that question at the end of nearly every interview, and it's always that answer, like bar one or two. But like it is so important. It really, really
Yeah,
is.
yeah.
Like it, I absolutely think that's the best advice that you can give anybody. Because I always say, up till a few years ago, I really did care what people think. That's shy. I still do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I really do. Like even walking into the school playground to collect the kids, I'm like, oh God, they're all talking to me,
Yeah.
talking about me or whatever, and they're probably not. Do you know what I mean? Or yeah, I
But
do.
that was how
Yeah.
we come up with the name for this podcast.
Talk
We've
to
all
Town.
felt we
Yeah.
would talk to town at some point, and
Oh,
we will
I've
be
been
again.
talking to town more
And
than once.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And look, it is what it is. We embrace it.
absolutely.
And I would be the same. I would give the same advice. Like, obviously, Elia's 10 now, should be a teen in a few years. That's the advice I'm already giving her.
Yeah,
But I think, importantly, like, I'm 41 now, and social media now is massive. It wasn't when I was a teenager. There was no social media. Like,
yeah,
there wasn't even really music videos, because we didn't really have access to TVs the way
Yeah.
we would now. Like,
Yeah.
you know, you were kicked out to play all day, even as a teenager.
yeah,
Now it's all this focus on unrealistic standards, and that's what it is. And like, I know for myself, like I mentioned earlier, I had weight loss surgery and I've lost 6 stone. But I think the body issue thing is massive for men and women, not
Yeah.
just men, not just women, men and women. But for me, like, I really struggle with that still.
yeah,
And I have a daughter now that keeps saying that she's fat, and I hate that, you know, because she obviously has all these fake people to compare herself to.
exactly.
So,
But the kids don't understand that Instagram is filters
Yeah.
and fakeness.
and I do constantly say that to her. I constantly have to say, like, be yourself, you know,
Yeah.
don't try and live up to this. This is not real. These YouTube families, they're not real.
yeah,
Like, she's looking at these YouTube families and she thinks everything is rosy. And I'm like, the
Yeah.
minute that camera is off, that mother is shouting at them kids. Trust
yeah,
me, it's
yeah.
not
Why
real.
can't you be like her?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not real. But the body image thing, I just think, is massive, because
Your head hasn't caught up though with
At
your
all.
surgery. I mean, it's 6 down and you're still like, don't take a picture.
yeah, I
Like,
do
that's
know.
massive.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is
Still
massive.
don't.
And I, like, it's mad because I have issues with all of myself. Like,
Yeah.
I don't like how my face looks, my hair looks, nothing. I'm just not happy with how I look, and that's something that I have to continuously work on. And I know, like, we have spoken before about, especially if you're going for something like weight loss surgery, the therapy part of that is massively important too, like looking after your head.
Yeah.
But like, I constantly have people tell me, oh my God, you're after losing so much weight, don't lose too much more.
Yeah.
And then my neighbour said to me the other day, don't lose too much more, you'll be anorexic. You know, and
What?
yeah, and but look, he's an older man, and
Yeah.
I know the place he came from was with
Yeah,
love and concern. But I don't see what he's saying,
Yeah.
because
No, you
all I
don't
can
see
see
it, like,
is
yeah.
flab, and I still see 17 stone me when I'm looking in the mirror. And yeah, it's like, that's important for me to get that message to Elia, that
Yeah.
don't be looking at all these fake people. And I know, like, Ciara, obviously you've gone and you lost your weight through Slimming World, and then you went and you had the tummy tuck and that. And I know,
Mummy
Laura, you want to put on weight.
Yeah.
You're doing obviously working out and powerlifting, and you're trying to put on weight.
Yeah.
And it's just mad because I think we'd all look at each other and like want to be like you'd always say to me about my boobs, like you wish you had bigger boobs.
Yeah.
I'm going tomorrow, hallelujah, tomorrow to Bournemouth Hospital to meet the plastic surgeon for my consultation about getting them reduced, and I can't wait. But I think we all look at each other and we all just see, I think I see the best in other people that they just don't see.
Yeah.
And people see that in me that I don't see.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and when we did the pilot episode as well, we did touch on that, like that, you know, because you did Slimming World and because it was during COVID as well, your weight loss was over a 2-year period, but people saw you at one gig at your old weight, and then they saw you at the new gig, like so much smaller, and they're like, she must have had surgery.
Yeah.
She definitely did.
Well, I mean, the rumour mill was absolutely churning, but that's the thing. Like, I think people kind of, like you said, people saw me at my last gig and then saw me at my first gig back.
But I feel like it's last week.
Yeah, and not realising there's 2 years in between that I've been working, and I've been trying to focus on myself and trying to
manifest
and like that. It's hard because I think no matter what your route, if you're going to go down the route of weight loss surgery or go down the route of one of these groups or go down the route, like there's so many ways of losing weight.
Yeah.
But no matter what you do, it boils down to the fact that you're not happy in your own skin.
Yeah.
You're not you're not comfortable in your own skin, and that's the way I always felt.
Yeah.
And I think when
people are under the illusion that you fucking love yourself as well.
Exactly.
Like,
and that absolutely, that could not be further from the truth.
Yeah,
Because
exactly.
if you're trying to change yourself that drastically, it's clearly because you're not happy.
You have a massive body issue.
Yeah.
Massive body issues, and we've touched on it before. Like I thought, okay, I'm going to focus on losing this weight, and then I am going to be, I'm going to be a whole person. I am going to be complete.
Yeah.
And I wasn't.
Yeah.
I lost the weight, and I look in the mirror, like you said, I look in the mirror and I still see 5 stone ago. And then I was like, okay, well, I have all this skin. I had three C-sections, so I had, like, my stomach was in ribbons anyway.
Kids
And then, they ruin you. But then I was after losing the weight, so like it was like, Jesus, it was terrible. But I would never let Darren look at me, let alone me. Like, I would literally, if it was an option, I would have got into the shower in a tracksuit.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
but like it's actually sad as well.
It's
like,
very
because
sad.
While people are discussing any of us, like you in a WhatsApp group, and you heard that back, and like they're not seeing that part of your life that you're like. Because I'd be the same. Like during, sex or anything like that. Like I wouldn't want to take my clothes off. I wouldn't want to. I'd have to have lights off and curtains closed and like don't look at me. And that's actually a horrible way to live. It's actually really upsetting.
Yeah.
You know,
and it'd be also upsetting for your partner as well.
100%. Yeah, like, and I think like people, I think the three of us are big advocates for supporting each other and supporting other women, but unfortunately not all people are like that, especially girls. Like girls can be very bitchy. And it's hard when you're on the receiving end of that.
Yeah.
You know, especially when you already don't like who you are.
Yeah.
If you're looking in the mirror and you don't like who's looking back, the last thing you need is people bitching about you behind your back or question. And even, like, I've been very open about, I had my bypass, like, this is it. Anybody any questions, ask them and I'll answer them. You, Ciara, didn't just openly come out and say it because it was nobody's business, and it was up to you to address that or not address it. And people should just respect that.
Yeah.
Like, I have friends that I went with for my surgery that have in no way addressed it publicly. Like, they don't talk about it, and that's their right.
Yeah.
You know, and I think as well, if you have a bit of a following on Instagram, people automatically think they've the right to just talk about
I've had people message me and ask me, come on, tell us, did Ciara actually have surgery? She did, didn't she? Like, no, she actually didn't. Like,
But even that, like,
you know, don't
it's-
ask me. Message Kira.
yeah, well, they
You know
do.
what I mean?
But,
Oh, do they?
Yeah, they do.
Do you
not
get
all
any
of
of that? Do you
I
get
do,
any of
yeah,
that?
I do get a lot of that, and I don't mind. I'll talk to anybody about it. I don't
Well, it's
mind
good
that.
that they are openly asking you instead of just
Oh, well,
talking.
like, I
You
mean,
get a bit of both.
the majority aren't messaging me. The
Yeah.
majority are talking or asking people, their friends who don't know me in WhatsApp.
Yeah.
And I would say
It's
since the
really hard to do.
pilot, we put out that pilot episode and there was massive feedback on
Yeah.
it, and you addressed that in the pilot and you said, this is how I lost the weight. I would say after listening to that, there's still people that are saying, 100%.
Yeah,
No,
yeah,
she
no,
had
well,
weight
that's
loss.
what I've got now our since that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
100%. But
yeah.
even at that,
There's 1,100 people looked at that, by the way, so far between YouTube and
thank
Spotify.
you. But that's just for anybody who did see the pilot. That's why we're covering this kind of a little bit more
Because
quickfire.
it sounds great from
Yeah,
here.
a little bit quick fire because this is obviously in a different. We're doing it in the studio and we're kind of it is a part of this episode is about getting to know us.
Yeah,
And that's part of us.
Yeah.
That's something that we have been through, and that's something that we deal with on the daily. But yeah, that's we wanted to kind of just touch on that for anybody who hadn't listened before, or
Yeah.
you know, if just to kind of drum it into their heads
Yeah,
that it
but
can be
also to
damaging.
say as well,
it is. Yeah.
we are normal women. Like
Yeah.
I always say that.
Yeah.
Like, we're just three normal girls. Like the issues that all women have, we have as well.
Yeah.
It's all right to talk about it. It's all, like me saying there that I'm not comfortable having sex with the
Yeah.
like that's it's okay to say that out loud because
Yeah.
lots of people feel that way.
Yeah, well, I'm at the stage as well, and I don't know whether it's menopause or pre-menopause or what it is, but like I'm 40, and you know, I think as the years go on, as the months go on lately, I feel less and less attractive. Although I look better now than I did, like ever in my life. But I think that's a mental thing. I think it's a pre-menopause thing. Really?
Balls.
Yeah.
So, because then there's something for me to look forward to now because I already.
Here, stop reminding us that you're younger.
Yeah,
But I
baby.
just I am though. I am younger, and I'll always be younger.
The rumours are true. She's a bitch.
No, but like that kind of freaks me out because
Yeah.
I'm only starting to try to build on like trying to feel a little bit attractive or trying to feel a little bit,
Yeah.
you know, and I'm still not there, and I've never felt that. And now you're telling me
No, sometimes
that
I do, but it
in
would
20
take
years
4
when
hours.
I'm your age, I'm gonna be.
Oh my
No,
god.
I honestly don't feel like I will ever be happy with who I am. That's just how I feel.
No, I feel exactly. I'd love to be uplifting for you now to say you will get there.
Yeah, I know.
Manifest
But
that
because
shit.
you're going
But I
through
feel
it,
the same
you
thing.
know. And like it's like when I've said to you loads, like I just think you look stunning on a night out, and like when we went to your gig the first time in what's that place?
Talk House.
Talk House, like amazing, like. But you just don't see that.
No.
Do you know, like it's sad, like it is sad, but we are all feeling it.
Yeah.
We're all
Yeah.
feeling
And I
it.
think that's the thing. I think it's important to get that across because people think you have a following on Instagram or like they'll see you in the gym or
Yeah.
they'll see you talking on your stories. They'll see me on stage.
Yeah.
Like we have the same issues that
And
not only every girl but every fella, everybody watching or
Yeah.
listening to this. Everybody is human. Everybody has their battles that they're fighting. Do you know, and it is that it's just be mindful of that. It is
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
But even you hear
Kind,
people
like-
talking about people going to the gym, and they're saying, you know, like I'm not into that type of gym where they're all looking at themselves in mirrors and they all love themselves. So fucking what?
No.
Isn't that amazing if they love themselves?
Yeah,
because I love to love
yeah,
myself.
that's something to be envied.
That's the thing. Like, if you actually look into it, the people that go to the gym, it's so far from the truth. Like that, they're not that into themselves, and that's why
That's
they're
why
at
they're
the
in the
gym.
gym. Yeah.
6 in the morning and all. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not because they love the treadmill.
Yeah.
It's
Well, that's the
exactly
thing, and it's the same. Like you wouldn't. It's funny because in that context, you'd say, "Oh, they love themselves because they're in the gym," and you're saying, "Well, no, that's why they're in the gym." It's the same thing. People wouldn't look at a Slimming World group and say they all love themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know? Because they're
absolutely.
trying to improve themselves.
That's
if you're in the
true,
gym, you're
yeah.
trying to improve yourself.
Very good. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
it
true.
is very good.
Yeah, it is very
See,
good.
I'm only a
Kira.
child, but I'm very wise. Right, we're gonna before we wrap up, we're gonna do this or that
Yeah.
round.
Okay.
So right, first one, dinner or dessert?
I'm going to say dinner because dessert is a slider food. Anyone that's had a weight loss surgery will understand that it goes down a lot easier, and it tastes great, but it's not good for you.
Right.
So I'm going to say dinner, even though I can't really eat a lot of the dinner at the moment.
Okay.
Unless it's apple pie, hot apple pie with ice cream and cream, then I'd probably have the dinner. I'd be
Okay.
more of a savoury person, but I do love an apple pie.
On that note, can
You
I
would be
say
won over on that
we're
one.
still waiting for an invite, not for Kira to bring us lasagna, for an invite to Kira's for lasagna.
I will. I
Do
will
you
make
make lasagna?
lasagna.
Remember, she promised us she was going to make us a batch of lasagna.
I did promise.
Oh, I
and
thought
I
that
will.
was Dion.
No, she did weeks ago.
No way.
But anyway,
I know I could have hung the on there and said, no, yeah, it was her. Let her make it.
Well, I'm glad I wasn't starving them for still waiting on lasagna. I didn't know we were waiting on lasagna.
I did,
Well,
yeah.
Trace is waiting on
I
it.
got lasagna brought to me yesterday, and loads of breasts of chicken that were all
Making our dinner.
seasoned,
Ah,
and
stop that.
chicken curry.
Yeah, in little
Oh,
plastic
that's me. Oh,
boxes
it's
delivered to her and all.
Well, no, I will. I won't have him win.
Okay,
I will make you a lasagna. I will
challenge
do.
accepted.
It's on. Darn. Okay, stay in or go in.
Oh God, like I've been single for so long, and pandemic that I couldn't wait to be getting out, and I was getting out. Now I'm in a relationship. It's like we're at that stage in the relationship where it's still, even though it's a few months, it's still new. Still haven't introduced them to Aaliyah, so I can't wait till we are able to just sit in and chill. Because
Watch
at
a
the moment,
movie and all
yeah,
that.
we just go out unless we go away or something for the night. So yeah, I think if I had to pick, and then with friends as well, like I like sitting in PJs and just
Yeah.
chilling and chatting.
I do love staying in, right? But, like, again, now that I don't drink or anything like that, I actually really enjoy going out. Because, you know, there's no hangover or anything the next day. You're home and all by 12 o'clock like Cinderella, do you know what I mean? Or your kebab or whatever. And, like, it's kind of fun watching everybody else getting a bit drunk. And then when they're
And do you
getting
know where
messy,
we
you
have
can
to
just
go?
leave.
The Ashbourne House on a Sunday night for karaoke. Claudine does karaoke.
Very
Yeah.
good. And the
Yeah.
14th of
We'll
May
do that.
is the chat venue for
Yeah,
Karen.
for Kieran.
Yeah, we'll go. There's 2 nights in. Well, I'm working on one of them, but sure, look, I might sing a little song with Claudine.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, very good.
Right, okay, so Coke or Pepsi?
Has to be Coke. Coke Zero for me.
Well, I'd always go for Fat Coke. However, Pepsi Max. See Pepsi Max?
Well,
Since
Pepsi, is
I've
Pepsi
been-
Max the same as Diet Coke or
Yeah.
Coke Zero?
Yeah. But I don't know why, but since I was a kid, every time I drink a glass of Pepsi Max, I literally get a serious fit of giggles. Like, to the point that I'd be in bed and I'd like just burst out laughing.
I'm
And
going to
Chris
be
would be
buying
like,
you Pepsi Max.
Yeah.
oh, here she goes. I'm like, no, I'm sorry, I'll stop now. And I'm trying to be real quiet and but so like it would just
That's so
I just
nice.
keep laughing and my shoulders would be shaking so he'd know I'm still laughing a lot and
That's
actually
nice.
have to get up and go in the other room sometimes.
When you
to
make
calm
the
myself
lasagna,
down
I'll
and
bring
come
the
back.
Pepsi
You bring the
Max.
Pepsi Max.
Yeah.
No, I would say Coke, but when me and Lindsay, my friend Lindsay, we have like our cheat night where we'll go and we'll have TGIs. And we'll just get like a platter and share it, but they do Pepsi Max there.
Oh,
So
yeah.
in my justification, although I'm eating a platter from TGI's, I'm drinking Pepsi Max.
Yeah.
So technically I'm still being quite good.
Yeah. And you know what? There's your proof now to anybody that isn't listening that you didn't have surgery. No way you could get a platter down if you
No, I
had
wouldn't be able to
surgery.
eat a platter.
So there you go. Validated.
Validated indeed. Right, clothes or shoes?
Here, I don't know what this means.
Okay, so if you had €500
Oh,
and you could
okay.
only buy, I don't mean,
I actually was
I don't
thinking, what do you mean? Do I want to walk around in clothes or do I want to walk around naked with just shoes on? Because this is getting creepy.
I didn't, yeah, I probably didn't phrase that very well.
Oh, stop it. Love it.
I'm going to say clothes.
Yeah, me too.
Because I used to love shoes. I have a great shoe collection, but not so much now. Pandemic, I'd rather be in flats. Not as,
I've always,
I much prefer being comfortable in clothes.
yeah, I would,
to be honest.
I would definitely
Yeah.
pick
And
clothes.
especially now losing weight as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And plus we were in pajamas for 2 years.
True.
Yeah.
And I loved it.
I still love it.
Yeah.
Right, we have to wrap up in the next 3, this or that. Winter or summer?
Oh God. Like, I think I have to say winter. don't be looking at me like that, girls. I do have to. I think
Still trying to decide.
I do look forward to summer, but when it's here, I'd be too sweating and all. Now, it could be different this year because I'm not 6 stone, but like,
Yeah.
I'd always be like, oh, I'm so uncomfortable, I can't wear
Yeah.
certain clothes, and maybe it'll be different this year. I do look forward to the comfiness of winter.
Yeah.
I like the comfiness of winter as well as in getting your cardigans and all that back out, chilling, watching the telly. But I love the summer because you can take the kids out to play and
Yeah,
like
yeah,
out the back
exactly.
and you can go to the park and you can
Everything
run the
has
legs
pros
off
and
them.
cons.
Do you know what I mean? Other than that, they're under your feet and
Yeah.
taking over the TV and back in your head.
True. Well, like I would say exactly this. I like the coziness of winter, and like that I've always been uncomfortable in the summer because you have to wear like short clothes or
Yeah.
less clothes.
Oh,
and
you'd
it's
be running
always
around
so
in bikini. You'd be
uncomfortable.
going to Super Holly in bikini in the summer now.
Absolutely. But no, but that said, I don't like being too warm and I don't like being too cold.
Yeah.
So my answer is you can't win.
Yeah.
So right, last one, spend or save. I know your answer.
I am sensible. I do
sensible.
spend, but I do save as well. There's nothing I miss out on. I'm just smart with my money. But I used to, as I said, I did credit control. I worked with money, so I budget for people as well.
Yeah.
And I do that for myself all the time. So if you need any help with that, I'm your woman.
I do.
Yeah, I do too because Chris saves and I spend it.
Yeah, that's pretty much my life too.
Yeah, he's
I-
really good like at putting things in different wallets
Oh,
and there's not different wallets as in
Like,
you
how many
know
wallets
in his
does he
phone on his like
Yeah,
yeah,
obviously.
them things I don't know,
Revolution,
yeah,
whatever.
all them, yeah.
Yeah, Darren
He's
would
good
be
at doing all that.
Darren would be like that. He'd be good at like, right, this is we have to save for this, and I'm like, yeah, I need to buy this.
But see, you
Yeah.
have had Darren and Chris for years. I've just had me, so I've had to do it
Yeah,
for both of us.
yeah.
So I'm a
Yeah.
spendy.
No,
So
even
you're
when
the
I
eldest
was
of the group,
even when I
yeah,
was on my
100%.
own with just Nikita and I was working like I still had to just go out and spend.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would do the same.
I'd save for my rent obviously, but that other than that.
Nah.
I'm not worried about that too young.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna wrap up with that. So.
Yeah. So anyway, the Instagram page is flying and we are loving all the questions that were being asked, so we can keep them coming. If there's anything that we didn't touch on tonight, don't be afraid to ask.
Yeah, because we can always do question boxes
Yeah.
and we'll still get back to everybody on the page.
Exactly.
And once again, we want to thank Stuart at Janstown Studios. He
Yeah,
is absolutely
He's a legend.
phenomenal.
This place is
Studio
absolutely
is amazing. Yeah.
Yeah.
So thank you for joining us again, and we will see you next week.
See you next week.
Bye.
Good, it's Stu. Don't say that every week.